Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I took out a 16,000 gallon pool one time. My neighbor, well, my boss said his neighbor was giving away a pool. He said, "You can have this pool if you can take it out of here." And I went down to, well, it was Home Depot and got a couple of day workers. And we went over there and he took my son fishing and the neighbor came out there, the guy whose pool it was. And he goes, "How many
Uh-huh.
days you think it's going to take you to get this pool out of here?" And I said, "We're getting this pool out of here today." It ain't going to be days, man. We're going to jerk this motherfucker out of here today. Motherfucker this, motherfucker that. Let's move, fellas. We got it out of
Yeah.
there in one day.
Damn.
It was a lot of. I drained the water out of there, and then we took that thing. It was a up above ground pool, 16,000 gallons. We took it out of there and brought it over to my house and set that son bitch up. It was fun. The kids loved it. I had it for
You
about
still
12
have the
years.
pool?
What's that?
Oh, okay.
I had it for 12
Oh,
years. They loved it.
yeah.
Got it for free. Now it costs a shit ton of money to maintain.
Oh, yeah.
It was $850 worth of water that went into that thing. I called the damn water and sewer department, and they charged me $400 worth of money going in there and $450 worth of sewer coming out. And I said, "Look, I just filled it up full of water and I didn't use any of your sewer. The water's still down there. Why are you charging me sewer for?" And she said,
Yeah.
"Okay, well, we'll knock it off your bill." And so they knocked it off my bill. She said, "We'll give you an exclusion for your pool for filling up a pool." And I went, "That was nice of you."
Heck yeah. No more pool, huh, Mark?
No more pools for me. I gave it away to a guy. I said, "It's free if you come pick it up," because it was all aluminum. The
Yeah.
infrastructure of that thing was. And so I said, "A free aluminum pool." And he came and got it and scrapped the whole thing. Took it to the scrap yard. I imagine he
Yeah.
got a couple $100 for the aluminum.
Oh, yeah.
But that's okay. As long as he came and got it, that was all right. I told him he had to haul it all off, the liner, and it was only a liner. Everything else was aluminum. I mean, everything on that thing, the deck and everything was aluminum. So
Damn.
there was a big aluminum deck on there that wouldn't rust.
Yeah.
So that it was very nice. Whoever paid for it paid a lot of money for it. I know they
Yeah.
paid
That's,
approximately $6,000 or $7,000 for it back then,
yeah.
and now they got it for nothing.
Which is about 20 to 30,000 nowadays.
Well, a lot of money. I don't know how much. It's a lot of money nowadays. But I bet it's 12 or 13. Boy, that dinner you had last night looks great.
Yeah.
You got lucky, man.
Yeah.
Beef and cheese and rice and jalapenos and onions and damn, man, you living. And Pepsi.
Yeah. My wife, she came and told me yesterday. She said I'd be good with making you guys chicken nuggets and what she say, chicken nuggets and hot pockets. But she said I know you guys don't want to eat that, so I'll make you guys some good food.
Well, that's some good food. You got lucky, man.
Yeah.
That's a good looking dinner right there, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I had for lunch today.
That looks great. You're
Yeah,
living, man.
my old best friend, he lives in Waco, Texas,
Yeah.
and him and his wife bought a brand new house right before they got married.
Okay.
He spent $70,000 to install a pool in his backyard.
Oh, God, that's expensive, ain't it?
Yeah,
That's a lot of money,
But
Silk.
that's the average cost here in Texas, man.
That's a lot of money to put a pool in. Jeez, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm done with pools. I'm done with pools for me now.
Yeah.
I ain't doing no more pools. I tell you, the chemicals were really expensive. I know when I went and paid for chemicals, it was $600 for just the
Yeah.
chemicals. You know, those big old 5-gallon buckets full of tablets, and I used to have bleach. Sometimes I would dump big old things full of bleach in there just from the grocery store. My son would say, "What the hell are you doing, Dad? You're not supposed to be putting that stuff in here." I'd say, put it in there. It was just the same shit. He goes, "That ain't the same stuff, Dad." My son was all over me, man. He's studying that stuff at school. You know what I mean? Those chemicals. I was putting shit in there you're not supposed to put in there from down at the grocery store because it's cheaper. I wasn't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to buy the chlorine, and I'd buy chlorine bleach. You're not supposed to put chlorine bleach in there.
Jeez.
I'd dump it in there and say, "Get in there, kids." It ain't gonna hurt you. See if it hurt them first. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Poor bastards. They made it.
They made it out all right, man.
They made it out all right.
They would have been a little bit more red, but you done bleached it out of them.
Yeah, I bleached it out of them. I bleached them white kids white. Made them bastards more white. Sometimes that water would be black as can be in the wintertime. Mark fell in there one time. Boy, he just goes, "Dad." We were trying to clean it out. Man, we had a hell of a time cleaning that stuff out of there. God. A pool is a lot of work, man. If you ain't never had a pool, don't even get one because it's too much work. A pool is too much work. That's all it is work. I wouldn't have one again. They did love it, though. The kids loved that pool. I went down there every day and was digging stuff out of there. Leaves and dead squirrels and rocks.
Jeez.
The neighbors would throw rocks in there. Them neighbor kids would throw rocks in there. I had to go dig them out of there. I'm just bitching. I'm just talking. Something to talk about.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of that 4-chord song? They kept singing
That
a
shit
new
was
song.
bad.
Yeah, it was.
I liked it.
What's different?
I never heard nothing like that.
Yeah, I thought it was different.
Where'd you hear that song from?
I heard it from me and Nightwing were playing a video game one night, and there was a chick playing with us, and she said, I said, "What's your favorite song?" And she said, "The 4-chord song," and then that's how I found out about it.
Okay.
Just some rando on the internet.
Yeah. Nightwing hasn't been coming around much.
Not as much.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Haven't seen him in a while. Happy day. Keep things happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Oh.
Man, I can't believe it's 7 o'clock already.
Yeah, it's getting there. What time you get out of there? Midnight?
11.
11, okay.
You're midnight, yeah.
Yeah. It won't be long at all. You'll be home.
Yeah.
Shit, that time's going to buzz by. But we'll have fun in the meantime. You can have some fun in the meantime.
Yeah, I finished all my work already, so.
Okay. You got a book or something you can read?
I've been watching that show, Fallout.
Oh, okay. You're going to watch that tonight?
Yeah. Well, I've been watching it a little bit. I actually just turn off the radio and everything and just relax, man.
Nothing wrong with that. Relax your mind. If you can meditate, that's another thing. Just meditate your mind.
Yeah.
You don't have to sleep. Just meditate your mind. Put your head at rest and take in the environment. That's one of that. You know that book that I suggested for you called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah, you said you're going to bring it to Vegas.
I will. But the essence of that book is just like what you're talking about right now. It's talk about meditation and the zen of being. Just taking in the environment that you're in right now and being happy for the moment. Essentially, the guy just says, be happy wherever the fuck you're at. If you find yourself in a bank line, most people get frustrated being in a bank line or being at the post office. Or if you have to be at work and you have to sit there for 3 hours, then just take that time to reflect on happy times of your life, like being with your son. Think of the most happiest thoughts that you can and sit there and relax and enjoy the world. Let the world go by. You know what I mean? That's what the guy says. It's weird, but when you try to employ it, it ain't going to be perfect the first time and the second time, the third time. But long about the fourth or fifth time that you try to let yourself go and be a part of be a part of things, it's something. I found myself doing it. Like if my son always says, I cannot worry about things that I cannot affect. You know what I mean? Like I don't have power over certain things. Like sometimes I have to be at work, or sometimes I have to be, there are bad circumstances that I can't affect. I'm not going to let it bother me, Dad. That's what he says. So then if you can't affect those things, then you can accept the fact that you're not going to let it bother you. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. I met this boxer whenever I worked at the hospital.
Yeah.
His name was Ronnie Jackson.
Okay.
I'll never forget Ronnie Jackson because I thought he didn't like me, Mark. And to me, it's really hard to accept whenever somebody doesn't like me because I like everybody.
Right.
And I treat everybody with respect, or at least I try to.
I found you do.
And so I tried to figure out, like, man, why doesn't this guy like me? Why is he always picking on me? You know? And I even complained on him one time. And we had a 3-person meeting. It was me, him, and the manager.
Right.
And I told the manager, I said, hey, you know, this guy always picks on me. I come to work on time. I do my job. And I said, he just doesn't like me. And I don't know why. And he sat right there in front of me, Mark, and looked me dead in my eyes. And he said, you really think I don't like you, man? He said, well, I got some news for you. He said, you're my best employee here. And I want to tell you something. He said, if I took it easy on you, that would mean that I didn't like you. He said, but I push you to the limit because I know the type of person that you are, and you just don't see it. And he said, but I see it. And he said, I'm going to tell you something that you'll never forget. And I never forgot this either. He said, one thing you can't do in life is control people, places, or things. And once you accept the fact that you can't control people, places, or things, then your mind will be a lot more humble.
Okay.
And that's exactly what you just told me right now.
Yeah. And I've heard.
If you can't, if you can't, what'd you say? If you can't change the effect on things, then you just accept that fact, and it will make your life a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly what he meant.
Yes, sir. That's what he meant.
And so I didn't understand that though. I thought it was hatred, man. I thought this dude didn't like me, you know?
Right.
But every single week, I would be getting these free meal tickets. So whoever was top in the line or whatever got meal tickets. And I'll tell you what, Mark, I used to push beds up and down this hospital. I used to push wheelchairs up and down this hospital. I used to go to the units, which is the intensive care units.
Yes, sir.
And everybody hated that shit, man. You know why?
Why?
Because whenever you're intensive care, you have 15 fucking poles attached to you.
Okay.
And these poles can't be disconnected from you. You got to push these poles with the bed and the nurse following 100% of the time. And you got to make that shit fit in an elevator.
Oh, God.
And I did it, man.
That's a lot of
and
work.
I was the only one that ever wanted to fucking do it.
Right.
And these dudes would always cry and bitch and complain, oh, man, I can't. I need your help. I need your... And they would be paging you on the phone. Hey, I need your help. I need an assistant over here. And I'll say, all right, man, just cancel your job. I'll pick it up.
And you did it.
And I did it every time.
Right.
And this hospital had the audacity, man, to, whenever I got COVID, to tell me, we're not paying you.
Oh.
You got that shit from the grocery store. She told me just like that, Mark. She said, you probably got it from the grocery store. I said, no, ma'am. I have a 1-year-old son. No, I have a 6-month-old son. Right? My baby came during COVID. I said, I have a 6-month-year-old son, ma'am. I come from work to home. Work to home. I do not go to the grocery store. We do pickup. We do the Walmart pickup. Right. And she said, no, there's no way. There's no way nobody goes to the store. And I said, okay, well, if that's the case, if I did get it from there, I said, what about all the hundreds of patients that I deal with on a daily basis that have COVID? Oh, you're probably not wearing your proper PPE. So I asked her, I said, so you're going to put my family in jeopardy because I got COVID? And she said, there's nothing I can do for you.
Oh, man. What a bitch.
And I said, all right. So I took a month. I was sick from December 4th all the way to January 2nd. I was hospitalized, man. At the hospital next door to my workplace because they wouldn't do shit for me. I sat there for 8 hours and waited for them to do a fucking x-ray on me. Because, yeah, I had insurance, you know?
Yeah.
But my own hospital that I worked at didn't accept me, man.
That ain't right, man.
Yeah. So I just, that's when I got that security job.
Yeah.
I went from patient services to security. And I told the lady, I said, I don't hold anything against you, ma'am. You did what you needed to do. And I said, God bless you. That's it. I didn't deal with her ever again. I didn't use I went to that hospital that took care of me for 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And I refused to go to that hospital. Like, I will not. They're next door to each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's kind of weird that to have two hospitals right next to each other is kind of strange, but they do. There's two emergency rooms right next to each other. Literally like probably 200 yards apart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But um whenever I went to security, and it was my first day back, you know, and it was my first day doing security, he told me, he said, "Hey man, I need you to go walk the outside of the hospital." And I was like, man, you know, I've been sick for a whole month, and I was just thinking this in my head, you know. And I was outside, and I was huffing and puffing, and I just did what I had to do, man. And then whenever I got back, he just told me, he's like, "Man, that's for your first time, you know this hospital pretty good." And I said, "Yeah, man, I used to uh, take patients everywhere, you know, so
Yeah.
I know every little secret, every little hiding spot. I know all that shit." So I fit in pretty well with the security. And then my grandma passed away, and I went to California. And whenever I came back, they told me that my license was suspended, so they had to fire me.
Ah.
Yes. And that's from my friend, my old best friend that lives in Waco. I went down for his wedding in 2016, and I got pulled over supposedly for a tail light, and he gave me a ticket for failure to display because I didn't have my wallet on me. It was in the hotel room, and so he gave me a ticket to failure to display, and I guess since it went to a warrant, once I paid off that warrant, which was $855, because it was 400 and something dollars for the ticket, and then it was it made it 800 with the additional court costs. And so once I paid that off, they suspended my license for 2 years.
Well, that blows.
Yeah, but they didn't say. She said, "Oh, well, this warrant will go away as soon as you pay it." And I'm like, "Oh, great! You know, I didn't even know I had a warrant."
Right.
So I said, "Great! You know, like I need that warrant to be gone." You know,
Correct.
and so